6% for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed. And once you get the support, your energy will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Inside Nigeria here at the Leadership Online Television. My name is Bode Gbadebo. As usual, we shall take you through what the front pages are saying, and as well as a discussion about a trending issue of the day. Of course, today later we shall be looking at the controversial Abuja Park policy. I have a stakeholder waiting to join me to actually provide perspective as to the reason why the Federal Capital Territory Administration is coming with that policy. But before then, let's quickly see what the newspapers are saying this morning, Thursday, July 7, 2022. Now we're starting with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. On the front page of Leadership this morning, Kuje prison attacks, Madala. Kuje prison attack, Madala, Nyanya, bombers, 62 terrorists. All right. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, I'll continue.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. Still Inside Nigeria for this Tuesday morning, July 7, 2022. We apologize for that little hitch over there. Now we're going back to business, starting with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. And what do we have on the front page of Leadership this morning? On the front page of Leadership, Kuje prison attack, Madala Nyanya bombers, 62 terrorists, 264 others on the loose. Kuje prison attacked, Madala Nyanya bombers, 62 terrorists, 264 others on the loose. Nigerian security and civil defense officer, 4 inmates killed, 16 others injured. Kaduna attackers responsible, renew execution threat as victims spend 100 days in captivity. ISWAP claims responsibility. I am disappointed, says President Muhammadu Buhari. President leaves for Senegal, 8 defense trip. Perpetrators will be arrested, according to defense minister. And of course, the last rider to the story heads must roll, according to experts. Now, I don't know how true is this, whether heads will roll or not. But let's quickly look at the vow by the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Salih Magashi retired, who said perpetrators will be arrested. And of course, Nigerians are used to this promises of vows, and nothing will happen. Now, leadership are actually mistakenly trying to provide a timeline of 9 jailbreaks in the last 2 years, as captured on the front page of the newspaper this morning. One, Delta, October 22, 2020, Nigerian Correctional Center, Warri was attacked, and the warder was killed during an attempted jailbreak by the inmates. And of course, Imo, on April 4, 2021, Correctional Center where he was attacked. Our first 1,844 inmates were freed. Bauchi, on April 9, 2021, riot at the Nigerian Correctional Service, Bauchi, no inmates escaped. Of course, number 4, on April 22, 2021, attempted jailbreak by inmates of Kurumawa Prison was foiled. On September 13, 2021, in Kogi State, Kaba Prison was attacked, and of course, 240 inmates escaped, were freed. October 22, 2021, the Abolongo Custodial Center in Oyo Town of Oyo State was attacked, and 837 inmates escaped from the custodial facility. On July 19, 2021, in Jos Plateau State Capital, 4 inmates escaped from Jos Maximum Security Prison. And of course, the same Jos, the Plateau State Capital, on November 28, 2021, the Medium Security Custodial Center, Jos, was attacked, and 262 inmates were released. And of course, the last one, number 9, and Abuja, July 5, 2022, which is just 2 days ago, the Kuje medium security prison was attacked. 879 inmates were freed from the facility, where President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday on his way to the airport to catch his flight to Dakar in Senegal. And of course, he visited the facility where he expressed disappointment with the intelligence system. And people are asking, if you say you are disappointed, what next? Is somebody not supposed to be punished for that? The Minister of Interior or the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service? Well, many questions, but answers are not available. Then the president was traveling, people are complaining, why will you travel when your convoy was attacked 2 days ago and the correctional center was also attacked 2 days ago? And the presidency said, well, government cannot stop because things are happening. And that is on the front page of Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. For want of time, let's quickly go to the second newspaper on our menu this morning. And of course, our sister publication, The National Economy. And what we have on the front page of The National Economy this morning, 2,000 bakeries close shop over high cost of production. That is what The National Economy Leadership sister publication is reporting this morning. 2,000 bakeries close shop over high cost of production. Bread scarcity looms as bakers commence strike July 13. Well, for those who are fond of eating bread and taking tea in the morning as breakfast, well, this may affect them. But for us to sincerely, well, tea is not my favorite. But then there's a cause for concern as reported by the National Economy this morning. 2,000 bakeries close shop over high cost of production. Bread scarcity looms as bakers commence strike July 13, 2022. That's that on the front page of the National Economy, our sister publication. Now let's quickly go to the third paper. THISDAY newspaper on the front page of THISDAY this morning is the same story about insecurity as reported by Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. Now, Buhari visits Kuje, queries intelligence response as ISWAP claims responsibility. President Muhammadu Buhari visits Kuje Correctional Center, queries intelligence response as ISWAP claims responsibility. President questions why prison defenses failed to work, demands comprehensive report on incidents, DSS warned correctional facility of planned attack. And so what happened? If they were warned of planned attack, what did they do? Presidency, activities of criminal won't discourage our government. Security condoned in Abuja after Kuje prison bombing. Atiku, Akeredolu, Afenifere, others speak on development. That is that on the front page of leadership of THISDAY newspaper this morning. Let's see if we can have pictures of the president while visiting the correctional center yesterday on his way to the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport here in Abuja en route Dakar, Senegal. Now the fourth newspaper on our menu this morning is the Daily Sun newspaper. And of course, on the front page of Daily Sun, aftermath of Kuje prison, the stories are the same. Fears in Abuja over Boko Haram inmates escape. People are now afraid whether these inmates will be locking in their neighborhood. Aftermath of Kuje prison attack. Fears in Abuja over Boko Haram inmates escape. Minister says 879 prisoners on the run, 443 others recaptured, 4 confirmed dead, 16 injured. Attack outcome of government refusal to listen to my advice, according to popular Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Sheikh Dr. Ahmad Abubakar Gumi, is saying attack outcome of government refusal to listen to my advice, according to Gumi. That's on the front page of Daily Sun newspaper this morning. And of course, today we have the 5th newspaper on our menu. And the story, like I said earlier, is the same story, but from different angles or different perspectives. And of course, the Blueprint newspaper is reporting investigation, outcome of an investigation carried out by the news paper. Let's see what we have on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. Investigation, how intelligence failure, insiders conspiracy led to Kuje jailbreak. Investigation, how intelligence failure, insiders conspiracy led to Kuje jailbreak. Terrorists hit facility in their hundreds. Buhari alarmed, raises posers on defense failure. All Boko Haram detainees escaped, according to the federal government. NSCDC officer, 4 inmates killed, 578 recaptured. And of course, the last rider to the story is saying terrorism can't stop president foreign trips, according to the presidency. And this is very, very funny that terrorism can't stop the president foreign trips. And at least the president can actually show some kind of sober reflection on the development in the country. And that is that on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper this morning. Now, I'll be going on a short break. When I come back, I'll be talking to Ikaru Atta, Senior Special Assistant to the FCT Minister on Inspection, Enforcement, and Monitoring on the Abuja Park policy. Don't go away.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Welcome back. As I said earlier, I'm being joined by Mr. Ikaru Atta, Senior Special Assistant to the FCT Minister on Monitoring, Inspection, and Enforcement. And of course, we'll be looking at the Abuja Park policy. I don't know if it's right to say it's now
Correct.
becoming controversial.
You can say so.
It's controversial.
You can say
So
so.
why is this policy controversial? And tell us about the Abuja Park policy.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Bode. I think the fundamental thing here is that when Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai did so much of the removal, the areas allotted for greens were heavily built upon. Then we saw massive removal of structures beginning from Accra Street in Zone 5, where Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, then Commander-in-Chief of the country, had to accompany him. As a journalist, then I covered that demolition exercise and I followed a series of others. So in that 2005, in November, the park policy was drafted and taken to the President and Commander-in-Chief, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who gazetted it. And since then, it had remained in force. And sadly, let me use the word sadly here, it wasn't enforced. That's the controversy we are in today. As at that time, we had just 22 parks. Only 22 parks. That would have been a lot easier to actually guide and coordinate operations of parks. They never did that. I think till about some years after, when they want to implement it, the park operators now protested the time that you cannot close park by 7 p.m. That by that time, many persons are already getting used to staying in the garden, particularly those of us in the pen profession, some baristas, some other stakeholders here. That time we had intensive traffic bottleneck on the Kubwa axis. The Yanya axis have been a constant point here that people will say, okay, after the close of work, let me just hang around in the parks until when the traffic bottleneck have reduced to actually save my car stretch and save the impact on their bodies and all of that. So they raised that there was discussion until the park operators went to court. After many years in court, they were now asked to go and settle out of court, since the contentious issue largely is the issue of time. They then go and settle, and that's where they have been here. That's why when people ask about the policy is not a new one; it's a very old one here, spanning about 17 years down the line. And today we thought we could want to bring it to so that parks can close on time, but the people are saying no. We met with the park operators day before yesterday. We met yesterday. The engagement we had. In attendance, we are a civil society organization. The NUJ was heavily represented. I know Comedima which sent representative. The MBA, I think they sent 1 or 2 persons, and they all, both the park operators, they were all on one side with some other persons from the public, that the 7 o'clock closing time may have been good as at 2005, but now it is long due for review, and they are asking that we take it to 9:10 p.m. That's where what all the stakeholders asked, 9:10 p.m. That's where we are at the moment, sir.
All right, people are asking, why are you just waking up? Because the FCT minister has been in the saddle for almost 7 years now. Why is he just waking up to say parks and gardens must close by 7 p.m.?
There have been ongoing conversation about it. There have been ongoing conversation. And what I really found worrisome, which I've always raised, particularly to government officials, we must learn to talk. We must learn to engage, particularly through the media. The media space is wide. Sometimes when you know you have had issues with park operators, they went to court, and now you are settling out of court. You are engaging in several things around the park policy, policies of everything about the city, not even just park, every area of the city. We must learn to constantly communicate. That's why sometimes when I go out for enforcement, very critical one, tough one like demolition and others, I allow press to come. I brief press. For some persons, it may just be show off. But for me, it's not show off. It's about the people knowing. The people must know. A policy that have been on ground, signed, gazetted 2005 is attracting this strong reaction. If the people had known that we had this policy, if they had read the policy, if we had had the policy online, if we had had copies, if we had had everything circulated, we wouldn't get to this point. That's the truth about it. And the minister have given the mandate when he came in about 7 years ago. They have been meeting, they have been engaging, they have been following up here until we got to this time. He said, okay, it's good for us to actually enforce going forward here. So I feel if we had been engaging, we have been communicating to the public would have known that we already had this electoral act, for instance. The stakeholders say, hey, guys, we can't run the way we are running. So the first 4 years of the President Mahmoud Buhari, there was so much talk about it, so much amendment. Second year again, there was so much talk about it. Even now, some people are saying, look, we should keep talking about the because they kept it in the front burner. But when it is kept somewhere and you're bringing it now, everyone will ask you, why now? But if they had told them, no, we had been in conversation this whole 17 years or 15 years, the public would have been fully informed.
Another information on the social media about the whole of this policy is that I don't know how true it is that the FCT minister is hell-bent on enforcing Sharia in Abuja, and he wants to stop the sale and consumption of alcohol. And Ikaru Ata, my friend here, is the arrowhead of the implementation. So how true
the
is
Hisba commander?
The Hisba commander.
I saw that.
So have you seen the post yourself?
I saw everything about me.
How true is this information?
No, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. And like I raised, the minister is not trying to implement Sharia. The minister is not thinking of one. He's not contemplating one. Though a faithful Muslims, most times those of us who are from the Christian community, he had always reminded us of how to maintain our faith. Both the minister and the minister of state, we had lived very, very well. And most times, if you observe, I'm a Christian, and he had given me a critical assignment, sensitive one in his government at that. It's not true. Like what I said earlier, Mr. Bode, if the crafters, the initial crafters of this law, wonderful law, I thought we had just 22 packs, had implemented this under the tenure of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, nobody would have mentioned Sharia. But they really did not do that job. So the job was left. And the minister came, and we had offered. It was in the gazetted policy signed by the commander-in-chief then, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, that parks must close by 7. Sale of alcohol beverages is banned in parks.
Oh, okay. Since parks are not hotels,
they
are not lounge.
No,
people don't even understand what these parks are for.
Because
so you need to educate.
No, the policy, with due apology, is not sold to the people. The people are not daft.
No buy in.
They don't buy it. No, not buy. You don't buy what nobody is selling. That's the truth. We won't blame the public here.
So if information was not even available,
Mr. Bode, a senior editor with leadership, you are not aware. Then those who depend on leadership as a world-class paper, they will not be aware. To some extent, even civil servants with us in the system, FCTA, are not even aware. Because we ought to sell it. We ought to communicate. In journalism, they say you cannot not communicate. That means you must keep the conversation on. Now, it is not about Sharia. The minister is not implementing Sharia. There is nothing about Sharia in it. It's a long gazetted policy that had been on ground. And like I said before, if before us, these people before us had followed through all of this, there would have been no problem about it. But they left it until such a time as this, where the society had evolved extremely and we had got business, relaxation, religion, all pushed into parks. You have almost all the parks have churches in them. Almost all the parks, they have mosques in them. Almost all the parks have offices in them. Almost all the parks have restaurants in them. And like what some persons raised, my colleagues in the pen profession, that when they finish, they go there to find where to plug their phone and send reports. And this event ends around 7, 8, and it's had to send report till around 9. So I think if this had been communicated well, Mr. Bode, I'm very sure residents would have been able to look through it, or would have gone through a long process of where we can say, okay, we are taking 7 p.m. for about the first 5 years. Some person will say, okay, let's call for a review. The city is already exploding. Let's review it a little bit upward. It should have been debated at stakeholders group and meeting. Then we can say, let's take 7:30, let's take 8. Then we cannot come after about 10 years. Let's review. Let's look at this. It should have been an ongoing dialogue, but not where it was completely forgotten, like the Holy Bible in the days before the coming of Josiah, when Hezekiah had to find the 10 Commandments in this thing and had to read it to him, and he was shocked that we have this law, and the entirety of those who claim to be followers of God never even knew that a point came that the law was missing in the temple and it was not read to. I think those are the things that are playing about. I believe strongly it's not about Sharia. It is not about Sharia.
I'll still take you back to the issue of proper information dissemination.
Right.
Now, I have seen the policy. I am aware that parks are not same as hotels, lounges, and the rest, where you have access to alcohol and other type of drinks. Now, majority of people or the residents of the city are not aware. So how are you, beyond engaging with the park operators alone, how are you also engaging other stakeholders like fun seekers, pleasure seekers, for them to understand that parks and garden are for only relaxation. If you want to have access to alcohol and other drinks, go to hotel and lounge.
Let me explain, Mr. Bode. You know, as a journalist who have been around for years, and the fundamentals and the crafters of Abuja master plan had envisaged something, sir. They had looked at the city holistically, and they had come to a beautiful position. That look, most of these parks are neighborhood parks. That means parks in estates, parks in districts. Even the way they design it then, those parks were not meant to be allocated to people to run garden, in quote, with the concept of running a garden where you do all sorts of things.
Yeah,
no,
actually,
those parks ought to be green areas. If you have it in zone 5, have it in zone 6, have it in an estate, have it in Gwarimpa, have it in Metama, it ought to be green area for the neighborhood where your kids and the kids
of the city.
No, where the kids
can go
their
and
mothers
play.
and their people can walk, take your bicycle in, play, do everything
Like the Millennium Park.
Like at the Millennium Park, as it is even in all parts of the world. Then at evening time, you close before darkness. Parks don't run under the cover of darkness. But in our case, this thing were not done. The city and many persons in search of their own process evolved. The city evolved in its own direction. That what happened was that the green space that we are allocated to people to manage as park operators now became a very beehive of activities, social engagement. That as we speak now, whether you like it or not, park is one of the busiest places people go to, more than the hotels, more than anywhere. If you like, we're already in Salah now. I'm very sure from tomorrow being Friday, being Arafat, you will see people pouring into the parks, both the amusement parks, like the other ones we have, Magic Wonderland, Central Park, Metama Amusement Park, others, and the conventional parks. People will flood everywhere to catch fun. So for me, if the neighborhood parks had been green open space for those in the neighborhood to do birthday, stay around, play, but now most of the neighborhood parks had been allocated to people who, some of them claim that as at that time, they were not handed the park policy. So they turned it into beer parlor. Some of them invested heavily that the only way they could recoup their fund is the sale of alcoholic beverages, which contravene the Abuja, the park policy that was signed by the then president. So in all of this, the FCT minister, Malam Mohammed Musa Bello, had directed us that we should engage and come up with a strong position. The engagement before had been with park operators and parks department, sometimes with AMMC. But now it is now going to a high level position where the minister, permanent secretaries are taking interest and are calling us to do more engagement that will bring to the highest level of governance. I believe we are getting somewhere. But like I keep saying, if when the policy was signed and gazetted, it had been enforced, maybe it cannot even make leadership back page. Because then the few parks then would have just complied, would have gone. But now they left it that the park had grown to an iroko tree. And my grandfather would tell you that if the iroko tree grows old, bringing it down would require extra sacrifice.
Sure, because you allow it to grow.
Grow, that's true.
Now, do you contemplate engaging the media to pass your
no,
message?
we have been. That's why the NUJ was part of the team that came in for the stakeholders engagement.
Okay.
For the sent some representative. The CSO sent some representative. I think the NBA also did same because some lawyers are already feeling very pain. I know I spoke to my big brother Frank Tete. He had raised some observation. My friend, former SA to the former minister on security, Prince Waziri Shield, had raised some observation. Some other lawyers had also raised vital observation with the timing that parks must be regulated, but we need to up the time. Everyone is asking up the time, regulate parks, but up the time. That 7 p.m. is too tight and all of that. Although the funny side of it is that some women have also called that if park closes 7 is good for the family. Let the men also.
Their husband will return home.
Let their husband also.
I don't actually go to park to write story. I stay in the office.
But journalists go there.
Yeah, I know, and that's why they are complaining. Their fellow journalists has been appointed, to be against them. All right, there are 2 more issues before I allow you to go because I understand you're busy.
Very tight.
Now let's look about the issue of security in Abuja. I know your mandate somehow will also cover security. Now, you see, this place where leadership municipal is located, the express road here at night is a very dangerous place. Your vehicle cannot break down and you stay there to fix it. You are endangered. You know, pickpockets, knifing, you know, see people coming out, even on the airport road where I live, anything beyond 9 o'clock and your vehicle break down, you just stay there alone. Expect people from the bush with cutlass and knife, you know, trying to rob you and the rest of them. So what are you doing about Abuja security? People believe your minister is I don't know how to describe it, that is not too up and doing about Abuja security.
It is. Let me tell you the problem we have. The minister holds a strong view that if we, his lieutenant, use, we are going to work very effectively.
Okay.
He allows everyone to do his job. If you watch what I do, he just allows me to just do my job. Ata, go and do your job. That's what he tell you. Do your job. Don't come and loaf around his office, trying to hang around, trying to make him see that you are working. No. The minister allow everyone, go and do your job. Don't hang around. Don't come and hang around. When the minister is building bridges, you see the Wuye Bridge, infrastructure, give it to him.
Yeah, sure.
Nobody will doubt that. Give it to him. The Apo Road, the powerhouse, down to Apo Road,
Central Bank side,
everywhere,
a lot of connection,
access, even the Secretariat Road, B12, B6, work is going on almost everywhere. He allows people to do their work. Now, on security, there are too much of shanties, too much of Abambola, too much of illegal quarter settlement. Imagine a place like this, Mabushi connecting Kadu, Highbrow area. When you go to the back of the other road adjoining next via Zue Hotel, you will see bachas and shanty. We keep clearing them. They keep coming. We keep coming under critical attack in some quarter of the media that we should leave everyone to stay where they are. No, you can have a Highbrow area like Wuse, Metama, and you find somebody just hang around the road with some cellophane bag and build a bacha. You leave the first bacha out of poverty. Before you say Jack, the bacha had gotten to 400. You now require both the military and the police and the joint task force to now go with us to go and remove them because they have become very dangerous. All this illegal settlement, Bambola, for instance, the refuse collector. Most time when we go out to clear them, you find people with jackknife, people with dagger. We went to Kubwa by the rail station. We went there. People were even rejoicing in the neighborhood that particular area, you don't cross there by 6. You don't cross there by 6. The same thing on the airport road. They show Musa Radwa. We also go there. We find the same problem. That's why we keep on intensifying effort at removal of illegal structures, particularly Bacha, Shanties, and the Babambola colony. What we did at Gwarimpa Day for yesterday. Gwarimpa, when we finished the clearing towards Karasana, we cleared everything. And then there's a particular area when we saw thatch houses of Bambola, we cleared all in the under some cashew tree. When we finished, we said let us retreat. And the next thing we haven't even gone close to about 100 meters. These boys started robbing every soul with knife, dagger, cutlasses. We had to stop, return back, chase them into a particular ditch, retrieve so many phones, make about 5 arrests, and people were coming to say these are their phones. So I think the public must support the minister, must support us as FCTA in ensuring that we clear this criminal spot. May I state this very clearly? Not everyone in those criminal colonies are criminals, no. But they provide intensive cover for people who want to wreak havoc on the society to do so. When you have a bacha, they don't even know who is who. Criminals will come there. You go and raid the place. You will meet one woman who is a businesswoman or who is struggling with her own small business. You meet one Meshai who doesn't involve in criminality. You meet maybe 1 or 2 ladies who are in Abuja struggling to make ends meet and get stabilized. Then you meet a lot of guys with red eyes and Indian hair and codeine. We cannot say because of those few good people who leave the illegal settlement to stay because it has been serious hibernating point for them to wreak havoc. That's why the minister gave us a marching order to keep clearing that. After the salary break, we'll continue in very high speed.
In fact, you actually touched on my last question, the issue of demolition. Even though about insecurity, when you demolish these shanties there are security threats to Ibo areas and the rest of them. These guys still lock around. They constitute, security threats to other residents of the city. I don't know, does FCTA has any plan to have a kind of guards, FCT guards or security corps, that go about patrolling the streets at night to ensure security of life and property?
No, we don't have that. I don't think that one is in the front burner. I know that the minister oftentimes meets with the FCT security team.
Agencies. Okay.
Here we have the police commissioner for the FCT, Sunday Babaji as the head. We have the garrison commander for because of the Abacha Barak garrison. We have the DSS, civil defense, immigration, and all of that. All of them together in the FCT security committee. They meet regularly. And if you come at night, we see the police team having surveillance at night. Driving around town and checking them. What I know we can do to actually complement security as a government is to, like I told the people, they will ask me permanent solution to all Abuja problems. And I told them there is no permanent solution to any problem. The permanent solution to a problem is for those of us around government to constantly continue to work. I repeat that. When you see traffic, I was once traffic management team chairman. When we go to Yanya Road, they will tell you, you are stressing us, chairman, permanent solution. I said there's no permanent solution. Even in China, even in US, traffic officers work throughout the night. As a traffic officer or an enforcement officer, you must keep work. If we remove Obambola, Bachas, imagine the one at by Nan, close to Bolingo. We removed it. They come, we remove, they come, we remove, they come, we remove, we make arrest. You must constantly be working. You don't give these criminals chance to actually settle down, develop into something else, and wreak havoc. And most times you see us every day, we go out and somebody will tell you, oh, I thought you are getting gray hair. When you're in journalism, you are not this gray. Now you are getting more gray hair. Please go home and rest. Abuja, Wahala, go finish for life. But for today and for now, I'm here. When I finished and I'm done and I'm out and I return back to journalism, which I also plan and hope to return to, I can sit down and say, within the time I was there, I acted in good faith. I may have made some mistakes, but at least it's normal in life. But I worked diligently and finished my course, not biblically yet, but I can say I have fought the good fight of it.
All right, that's a nice one. And finally, about demolition of shanties, places, and the rest of them. I've received reports, as the editor in the office, I get reports from a reporter saying people complaining that you don't inform them ahead that you're coming to demolish their places, and you leave them at the mercies of Babambola's canvassers to rob them, attack them, and the rest of them. Is that all you want to do? Just go and demolish without, putting to cognizance their security?
No, let me tell you, sir. We give notices. We give. There will
always be a denial.
No, we give adequate. Like I always tell journalists, one thing I do, I know that demolition report is a painful one, but we must remove illegality. It's a very painful report. It's a report when you go, even you who is enforcing, sometimes you feel so bad. Imagine the one we did at Kwarimpa, West Karasana. We gave notices. West Map Global Estate. We marked it last 3 years. We marked last year. We mark early this year. Then in April, which was the last marking, we asked them to mark, serve notice, and use this Abuja environmental van to go around. Not one soul moved. Not one soul.
You never believe you can come for them.
We came there on Monday for demolition, and they were asking us, hey, they were crying. When I said, okay, they now brought it. They now showed us their letter. We wish the person that went to serve it, snapped them, took picture with himself, serving them. And at the end of the day, they cried. I almost shed tears. When the particular makeshift structure, we started around 9 o'clock. Around 2, we were pulling out some kids that come from school. Their house was demolished, and they burst into tears. I was almost crying. I told the dad of the kids, we want you to leave. You would have left. Don't put these kids in agony, in pain. I said, the money you pay here for this illegality in Gwarimpa area can get you a room and parlor self-contained, maybe in Jukwe, maybe in Karishi, maybe in Buari. But don't come and waste it here. Some of us live in the suburbs. Doesn't mean that we cannot live in Metama shanties and all of that. I think the fundamental thing, we give notices. But one thing I had come to learn from enforcement, many people don't take government serious. They don't take government serious.
Probably maybe
They don't take.
government don't take them serious too.
No, I think
Provision of social
no,
amenities.
no, maybe that may be, but not totally. But the fact that government most times will not do what some persons in the past ought to do. So when the minister say attack, go here. When we mark that we are coming to Papi, somebody will say you can't come. We end that Papi. We mark it. I think now people take us very serious. When we mark your structure and we ask you to go, some people take us serious because you can't allow all the illegalities to, even when we do all of this, even along the airport road, even in critical areas, you beg people, that's why I keep saying it. There's no one litigation. There have been petitions written against me, but no one litigation. If we don't mark, we don't give notices, people would have gone to court. But we mark, we give notices, we snap the picture, we keep all the petition written against me. When they bring it, at the point of answering, I will answer with video CD of we going there to beg, we going there with OB van. When we put all together, the petitions just die. All from 2 years ago, they started writing petitions, they just die. The lawyer attached to my office, Mr. Badmos, we just prepared the petitions. It cost us money to bring out paper cuttings for news, bring out the ones we serve, bring out everything, print out picture and load it, answer the petition and submit. And the petitions, no one came back. No one petition will come back because they are all injured. We are not giving notices. Therefore, that point, everything is allowed.
You know, I said the last question was that one, but I'm still tempted to ask you the last question plus.
Okay.
Your minister, Mohammed Bello, you are a part of his kitchen cabinet by virtue of your mandate. So what is his vision of the Federal Capital Territory? Because there are instances where perception is reality. Too many people perceive him to be too calm, too cool to be FCT minister. What is his vision of the FCT?
No, I feel his vision is to have a city that runs itself. He's not a noisy person. It's not like me. He's a man who wants to work. And if people are passionately listening to the city, which we don't do, or own the city, which we don't want to do, we will commend him so heavily. When he came into office, the first thing he asked is, why is it that the Goodluck Jonathan way was not connected to AYA? Why is that all the cars coming and going under the AYA bridge? I said, this one, that one. He said, no, let them go and walk on the road. They walk on the road, they close the road with heavy caps. He said, no, if you had walked to this level of completion and the road is asphalted, why must people now still go under the bridge? He said they should make some work quickly. And the road should be open. He quickly got that done. The road was open. All of us coming from Maraba, Yanya, Masaka, Jukwe, Karo, Karishi, Orozo, Kwegi, Kurudu, New Yanya, what they call it now, Otaba Lefi. When we are heading to AY, we just go on top of the bridge. But nobody could keep this on his account. That the road was on. When he came, he had to hurriedly complete it. There are massive work going on now. Now, those living in Apo Mechanic Village, living at the massive Lokogoma stretch, massive housing estate, going to Apo Mechanic Village, work is ongoing on that part. Very, very heavily.
To expand
the bridge behind the villa that was quickly completed, that people going to Cuba will have to meander through DSS office, through this other part, through Wuse. He had to make it in a way that that particular bridge should be quickly completed by Erano behind the villa in Asukuro there. So when the bridge was done, anybody going now to Cuba may not even need to even worry if we have traffic build up in front of the office here. Those coming in from Secretariat, AY axis, we just climb that bridge, connect, and you are down straight to Cuba without even stopping at any point. This is the beauty of what. Look at Wuye. Look at the Wuye bridge. When people who thought that government is almost ending, this man should sit down and be thinking of how to empower himself, which he will not do. He started the Wuye bridge. The moment that groundbreaking was done at the Wuye interchange, connecting, Wuye will become part of Wuse. Because with that bridge, you are just crossing straight. Property in Wuye skyrocketed by over 100%.
Because of that project.
That single, because once it is done now, Wuye becomes part of the city center. You don't have to go to area 1 or go to Bega to go and turn and connect Wuse. You just cross a bridge, you are at the heart I think there are so much, but in his person, he believes he's only working. Let me use the leadership slogan for God and for country. That's the truth. So most times to talk, we are used to ministers who talk like me, who talk and talk. But in his own case, he believes we who are in the field should do the talking. We should sell our projects, while himself will come and talk at the ministerial level. But somehow people are used to keeping quiet. Let the minister be talking permanently until God knows when. But he works very education. We have the best school. He met good schools. He built on it. We have some of the best schools, secondary schools around. He's working on the Abuja University in Abaji to see how we can get it reopened. He went there. He said some of the things there fell below standard. He gave a matching order. What about in healthcare? We have one of the best hospitals in the country. Best that I, standing here before you, did a spine surgery at the Asukuru General Hospital. What I would have done somewhere in Dubai or Germany for close to about 8-10 million naira. I did it here, and it was perfectly done. I could run, I could jump, I could enforce, I could go everywhere.
You have to stop capital.
You understand? But people don't count all of this to the account of the FCTA. Like I said to my fellow colleagues in government, we must start to talk to the people. The people have areas they want to talk to us. We must listen, we must engage, we must keep conversation on. The minister is working so much, doing his own bit, but we also who are lieutenant, we must talk and get the people to own the city, buy the city, take the city. At that particular point, enforcement work will become very easy.
There are many things to talk about, but we are out of time. Many thanks to you, Mr. Ikaru Atta, for creating time. That's why your busy schedule, which I know very well.
But you are a senior journalist. Senior editor. When you call me, I must respond.
All right, that was Mr. Ikaru Atta, Senior Special Assistant to the FCT Minister on Monitoring, Inspection, and Enforcement, who joined us this morning on Inside Nigeria show. On that note, we've come to the end of today's edition. Make a day with us tomorrow for the Friday edition. We are Winifred Obebo. We'll be holding forth. My name remains Body Gbadebo. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.